The Mel Carmine Show begins in just 1 minute. Support the movement. Visit QFS1776.com for exclusive one-of-a-kind merch that makes a powerful statement. Protect your wealth. Cash is trash. Go to carminesgold.com and secure real assets, silver, gold, delivered anywhere in the U.S. Text Mel at 786-704-8817. Looking to acquire XRP? Minimum is $10,000 investment, and there is no limit, even up to $100 million worth. Again, text Mel with full details at 786-704-8817 and allow up to 24 hours for a response. And yes, text the same number to establish your religious irrevocable trust. Protect everything you built. You own nothing, but you control everything. And if by chance you're visiting Cape Canaveral or you are a local, visit stayingalive.com, alive with 2 E's, and recharge your body at the cellular level. The show with your host, Mel Carmine, starts right now. Well, we got Andy. Andy is a guy that I met in California while we were rallying for our favorite candidate over there, Louis Herms, which I'm very well a part of it at this point. I put together a very elaborate business plan on how it should be attacked. And not only is he impressed with it, his entire staff is impressed with it. Christine, who's his personal assistant, is impressed with it. We're about to hand them some blockchain people on steroids who are patriots, friends of mine, where the government will never, ever be able to finagle the bagel ever again. The voting is going to be done on blockchain if I get my wish, because everybody could be sitting on the toilet in California and vote. And in about 29.17 seconds, you're going to have the exact vote precise to the down to the gnat's ass. You know how small a gnat is? Can you imagine a gnat's ass? Okay, that's real small. So anyway, we got Andy, the Q decoder. Andy should be a podcaster, is not a podcaster, but maybe by the end of the session, he'll think about getting a microphone and becoming a podcaster. Andy, you're down in Arizona. Welcome to the show. You're a good friend of mine, Matt, with the gold company there. We're both in the same business. CarminesGold.com. Guys, if you want to buy some silver and gold, CarminesGold.com. Okay. I'm telling you, you're not going to get wealthy on gold and silver. You're just going to basically preserve your wealth. You want to get wealthy? You're going to call me 786-704-8817. Nothing less than $10,000. And don't call me to socialize. I have no time for socialization these days. Just call me or send me a text message. I want to buy 10,000. I want to buy 10 million. I want to buy $50 million worth of XRP, worth of cryptocurrencies. I'm your guy. I can get you that kind of dough. All right. So anyway, guy, talk to me about what's going on. We're in the middle of a perfect storm. We got Venezuela getting ready to happen. We got the arrests getting ready to happen. We got the biggest finagling of the bagel with the quantum financial system, with the new financial system. It's about to come, and people are getting depressed. I'm actually running into the house that's burning instead of running out. I'm buying more, even when the blood on the street is my own. I'm just, doubling down because I know how the movie ends. Did you see me shaking? My portfolio went down by $2.3 million in like that. Okay. And I'm cool as a feather because I know how the movie ends. So Tell us how everything is intertwined. Tell us, in your own opinion, how everything is connected to what's going on right now. This is the biggest storm. Everybody says we're in the final stages of the reset. I'm tending to believe on that without putting that date of the 22nd on it, which we're not that far away from that. Today's what? What's today's date? Today's the 21st.
Today, 21st.
22nd, right?
Yeah.
And some people say it might be a little late, might be 4 days after that, like my good friend Rob Cunningham. But I don't know. The only thing I do know is that it's going to happen. And I know you've been involved with, connecting the breadcrumbs with the Q movement. So Tell the audience what they need to know.
Well, anybody that tells you the exact date everything's going to happen doesn't know. We don't know. We could still be another year out on this whole entire thing. Trump did tell us, that 2025 was the final battle. We're just about at the end of the year. So, and Trump said other things. Trump is the greatest troller in the world. Trump will take and throw things at people just to try to see what they're going to do. You look at the whole mess between him and Elon going after each other. Now you look at Elon and Trump are back in the same boat again. Then you look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene, oh, all of a sudden Trump's got a conflict with her. It is luring out the cockroaches out of the woodwork. You go in and fumigate a house. Sometimes it's going to take multiple fumigations to get all the cockroaches out from behind the woodwork. Every time Trump throws somebody out in the public eye, it is for a reason. It is to show them what is going on and the corrupt people that are in our society. I'm not saying Marjorie Taylor Greene's corrupt. Don't know. This is a movie to wake up the American people. It's to look here, don't look there. PSYOP, the greatest PSYOP of all time.
Andy, you sound like a conspiracy theorist. Are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that we're in a central casting of sort?
Oh, absolutely. Trump says that all the time. Central casting.
Gee, you must be paying attention.
Oh, yeah.
I'm being sarcastic, brother. I know the audience gets it.
Well, see, my awakening happened on November 6th of 2019 when we had parades in Arizona miles and miles long, patriots voting for Trump, and we had these chain of freeway parades all around Arizona for weeks. And then to turn around and say that we lost the 2020 election the night before the counting didn't even end, and say that Arizona fell to the Democratic Party was a bunch of BS. With the gun laws we have here and all the people that move here because of our wonderful gun laws. And to say that, yeah, you don't want your guns anymore and come live in Arizona where they're going to get taken away now, doesn't happen. So I was trying to find answers, looking all over the place. And I found that famous video we all know, The Plan to Save the World. And that got me on my road to digging. Q is a PSYOP. Q is to wake up the American people by digging for information. And that's what we're doing. God gives us discernment, and we're being taught how to use that discernment now, and being able to think for ourselves, make our own discernment moves. I'm going to probably piss a bunch of people off right now, but the whole Charlie Kirk shooting, did that happen? Was there crime scene manipulation right after the shooting? Why are they taking things apart? Why do none of the pictures look real? Why is there a hatch right underneath the table in front of him? Why is there no blood dripping? Why is there no blood stains on his shirt? Too many questions. And we have to have that discernment to be able to map ourselves through what is going on in the world right now. And that's what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to learn, we're trying to understand, and we're trying to see the reality behind the curtain. The Wizard of Oz, who's pulling the strings behind. We look at the entire Biden presidency, and we go, well, yeah, Biden was president, and we're going to lose everything. Well, Biden was another PSYOP. You look at pictures; none of the pictures look right. None of the facial features are right. You look at Executive Order 13848. That is election interference. Why did Biden renew that 3 or 4 times? You look at Executive Order 13818. Why did Biden renew that? Again, that's crimes against children. We know that they all have election interference and they're pedophiles. Why did this happen?
Well, it was election interference, but they think they actually legitimately won. Even though there's some anomalies that you could point to that you cannot dismiss and sweep underneath the rug and say that's not real. No, because we believe that they were, and we're allowed to have our own opinion. That's part of free speech, right?
Exactly, and that's part of the great awakening process, is being able to see something. I don't really watch the news, but every once in a while I'll turn on my wife and I'll go, let's see what the criminals are up to today. And we'll flip the news on, and just about everybody that's coming on that news, and I don't know why, but they'll maybe have a green screen of a perfect bookshelf behind them that is clear and perfect. And the image of them when they're talking is all blurry and construed and maybe just CGI'd in. People that may or may not even be in existence. There's so many 2.0s running around right now, from central casting. We all have heard that before. What's really going on? We don't know.
What's the biggest breadcrumbs right now that are playing out in front of our eyes, in front of everybody's eyes, of people who want to see the breadcrumbs? They're
So anybody can go on Q Alerts app. There's Q Alerts, there's QAG. There's a couple different sites you can go. We have a blast with it. We go on to a Grasshopper show, and I'm kind of throwing perks out there for Grasshopper. He is the ultimate decoder. He puts me to shame. He gets out there and he does gap codes. He does punctuation. He does how many syllables were in that. And there's codes within every minute of it. There's codes within, the hour and the minute timestamp. There's codes between the minute and the second timestamp. This thing's being played out way too well and way too precise. We'll take, last month on the 30th, Trump just happened to be in China. Well, you go to post 13 and it says, think about the timing. Why is POTUS in China and North Korea? Again, when things are so mathematically together that they constantly keep happening, how many times does that coincidence have to happen before it's truth?
it becomes mathematically impossible.
What's that?
Before it becomes mathematically impossible.
Exactly. Even Trump himself is dropping us clues. He's put up some memes and some pictures of him with his hand up, holding a Q within his hand, and another picture of a Q on his collar. Trump doesn't do anything without a plan, but he's encouraging us to continue digging because that's what he wants us to do. He wants us to dig things up and share it with the public so the public can understand what's going on. They're trying to get through this information warfare without a bullet being fired. And in order for that to happen, we, the American people, and this is what I pride myself with doing, is I'll meet an average Joe, either through a service call, on an air conditioning call I'm on. I'll meet an average Joe and start kind of giving them a little bit of this and a little bit of that, not to aggressively wake them up, but to give them some clues and things that they can start looking at that don't make sense in this world. And that's part of what I've been doing here in Arizona, is waking people up. I've got people that are just friends now that I'm dealing with on a daily basis that'll go, hey, what do you think about this? And I'll go, wow, that's interesting. Let's look into it. And we start digging.
Why do you think we're having such a hard time waking up the normies? I mean, are they just dumb, or
no,
is their pineal gland completely calcified?
Possibly.
Does the elevator not hit the top floor? I mean, we could have a spool of excuses of why this, why that, but why is the evidence is so clear to me and you and guys like Matt, and yet you present the same identical evidence in the same order from the same angle to someone else, and it's right underneath their nose and they can't see it. What's the explanation for that?
Well, I'm going to take my neighbor as a classic example. After 2019 and we lost the 2020 election, I went on my neighbor and I go, can you believe they just stole this election from me? His words exactly to me was, that was the most secure election in history.
Well, allegedly, we have to use that word for
allegedly,
purpose.
Right?
Allegedly, they claimed that they stole the election, right?
Right.
The people on the right, okay? Allegedly. YouTube, can you hear me? Allegedly, man. It's unbelievable. Well, we got to go through
what has really taken place, Mel, is the whole fact that people are intellectually lazy to the point where they just want to sit in front of a television and get all their information.
Yeah.
And what does the mainstream media do? They tell the same lie over and over and over again until it becomes the truth.
Yeah.
And there's your psyop. There's the American psyop that has brainwashed the people to the point where, if it didn't happen on the news, then it really didn't happen.
Well, I think pre-internet, right? Before we had the internet. And I think we had all these game shows, The Price is Right, Let's Make a Deal, all of these stupid Jeopardies, and the Great American Race, The Greatest Race of All Time, Survivor Island, all these stupid dating shows, right?
The Apprentice.
That was to keep everybody distracted, even though we didn't have an internet. We had no internet. But there was the only way we could tell of what's going on is what they were feeding us through newspapers and magazines.
Exactly.
And we knew nothing. Can you imagine? They're robbing us right now. And as much as we are under surveillance, they are under surveillance by we, the people. We're watching you guys 10 times more. Oh, yeah. And when we come together and we start to compare notes, we know exactly what you guys are up to.
Exactly.
We got the goods on you. It's lock, stock, and
have it all.
we got you with the hands in the cookie jar. It's irrevocable, irrefutable evidence, right? Think about that for a second. Think about how much they stole in the 80s and the 90s before the internet was even introduced. And when the internet came out for the first 15 years, 20 years, it's still in its primitive stages because they're talking about Web 3 now, right?
You want to talk about things being stolen? Let's go back to 1871. In 1871, they incorporated the United States. Now, why would you incorporate the United States? Now you've got a board of directors, you've got a vice president, president, you've got all these pieces and parts in place. But really what they were doing was it was a captured operation back then.
Right.
And then you flash forward to 1912. What happened in 1912? There was a famous little ship that just happened to sink in 1912 that was a tragic accident with an iceberg, with a ship that was unsinkable, with an iceberg that just happened to be in the way and a rudder that was too small. All the BS lies you can put forward. But the truth of the matter is all the bankers that were opposed to central banking happened to be on that ship. And that ship went down and took all the not the central banking people, because at the last minute they decided to pull the plug on their trip because they were set to go on it, but didn't. And then all the people that were opposed to central banking went down with the ship. Then you flash forward to 1913. On December 23rd, they went into Congress and passed central banking. The only thing is, people don't realize it was never ratified by all the states. It was only ratified by 2 states. And so that now 30 years of debt trying to pay off a mortgage is where we sit. And it was brought against us unlawfully.
Right. Now, what do you make of the fact that Donald Trump, and I want to say these very delicately, and don't speak because you might not have enough experience with YouTube, and we might say one word and one word and we'll sink the ship.
Oh, okay? Exactly.
But remember the guy that just they had a funeral yesterday, Dick Cheney, the guy that was involved with those 2 things coming down and the demolition, you know what I'm talking about, right? In New York.
Oh, yeah.
Let me show you something. You tell me what you see. And they put this in plain sight, except the guy that analyzed this thing is a guy that's got a nice beard, beautiful bald head, and is pretty intelligent. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Let me check this out. You guys can actually go ahead and pause this and read it for yourself. But then check this out. Check what I found out. This is going to blow your mind. And you're going to see it, but don't say it. I know you're probably going to be tempted to, but don't. Okay? I say enough in here to get us both in trouble anyway.
Right.
All right? Now, you guys can pause that and read it for yourself, but it says at the top, World Trade Center beam. Now, I want to show you something, and you got to use your truth, logic, and common sense. You don't need to be beyond 96 IQ for this one. Folks, we're talking 2-inch thick, 2-inch thick, 2-inch solid steel beam, okay? And these things were spaced out like 4 feet apart from each other, and they had them all the way up to 120 stories. You're telling me that an airplane or 2 airplanes hit the towers and literally destroyed these beams with a fiberglass fucking nose and knocked down the World Trade Center towers? Is that what you folks believe out there? Because if you believe that, I'm sending a white van with 4 black guys with straitjackets, and we're going to put you in a mental institution. This was an inside job Look at the way the beam. Look at the way the beam. Look at the angle. Oh, is that consistent with what? Controlled demolition. Shit, I just saw that. I didn't see that before. This is solid, folks. Solid. It's not hollow. It's solid. Hey, am I getting through to you guys out there? I think that's pretty fucking damning evidence.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think that's damning evidence.
Well, what's even more damning
put it in plain sight because they know that the people out there, Andy, are so fucking stupid that they don't realize that is a controlled demolition situation. They put that in fucking plain sight and people walk by that thing, the evidence, every single day, and they can't fucking see it.
Incredible. If you slow the video down of the airplane actually impacting the building, you slow that video down, all of a sudden as that airplane's coming in, a wing will disappear in the back of another building. And then all of a sudden, if you slow the video down enough, you see the airplane supposedly intact the building with the fiberglass nose cone coming out the backside. How does that happen? How does building 7 fall down while it's still on TV behind the reporter?
You know that the cone of the airplane, the front nose, is made out of fiberglass? Did you know that?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's where the radar unit sits.
How could fiberglass take out that much steel? And these beams are all the way up as high as the building, spaced 4 feet apart from each other.
Exactly.
Hello, is anybody home?
McFly. What's even more interesting is the building of the owner of the building takes out additional terrorist insurance just before 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
And what also happened the day before 9/11? Dick Cheney came out and said, well, all this money's missing.
Yeah. The thing that landed at the Pentagon landed in exactly the department where there's $2.8 trillion missing. Gee,
Exactly.
out of all that real estate, it landed just there.
Right. Well, it didn't land because there was no airplane parts on the ground around that wreckage.
No luggage, no bodies, no body parts. There was nothing.
And how did a passport survive that crash?
Right. I think we just graduated to Rumble.
We may have to.
At least this part of it, you know?